That it's time for the big act rant. As you know, I've been talking about it. Hold on, let me check a little something right here. Alright, with Gucci, I've been talking about it that Ek and Mona been headed back and forth. They headed back and forth, called her a crackhead, a scammer, whatever he called her. But he doubles down on beefing with Mona from the Joe Budden podcast. He was tired of it. Basically, how this happened was when Akademiks was going back and forth with Mano, the Joe Budden podcast discussed it on Patreon. Mona went off, called Akademiks a buster. She was like, he built like a baby mama. She was basically saying like, bro, you got a small member, a small like, you know what I'm saying, Vienna sausage, if you catch my drift. And basically this and them, she's like, she doesn't respect, because of the whole Warren Chirac situation that has followed Akademiks throughout his career. She doesn't respect when a square, a Poindexter be talking about some real street shit, and she don't respect that type of time. Of course, Akademiks fired back. When he fired back the first time, I thought it was a little bit tame. Apparently people were saying she was a scammer. There was a person like, Ek, I want you to fund the lawsuit for me and do all this and that. And now he has come out recently to double down on it. At this point, it is what it is. We'll see what goes on with it. Mona was insinuating, why should I go back and forth with this dude? But anyways, we'll see what's going on. Let's talk about it. So, DJ Akademiks has been beefing with Mona Love ever since she criticized him on the Joe Budden podcast earlier this month. It was like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. But anyways, DJ Akademiks continued going out Mona Love from the Joe Budden podcast during his latest live stream. In doing so, he warned her that he's already begun digging up dirt and advised her to stop speaking about him. Akademiks began the rant by describing Mona as a crack whore. Hey, listen, these is quotes YouTube. I know y'all probably gonna look at my video like I'm talking crazy, but it is what it is. That's on the Joe Budden podcast, and advised her to take Ozempic. Quote from Akademiks. I don't want to see you talk about me no more, he said. You really don't deserve the normal Akademiks routine, but today I got a little bit of time. I'm seeing my other ops, they tweeting about right-wing, these N-words turning political. With that remark, he was referencing an earlier rant about Ebro and Peter Rosenberg feuding with Drake. Turning back to Mona, he added, through preliminary research, I don't know if this is really what you want to do. I didn't even know that your podcast had a 360 deal. Now you're the 10th mic on, you're the P mic over there on the Joe Budden podcast. Now, calm your triple chin ass down. I got a crack whore trying to beef with me. Come on. So the drama began when Mona Love criticized DJ Akademiks on a podcast earlier this month. She and her co-hosts were discussing Akademiks' recent feud with Mano and Fabulous. In doing so, Mona joked about Ak's sex life before taking more serious stance against his work. I'm not a fan of people who are not in the streets at all doing all street content, she explained. You have to be at least adjacent to it to be able to report on it. Akademiks ended up firing back on live stream afterward, arguing that she wasn't relevant enough to be worth a response. I don't even know who she is. She can't stop talking about me, Akademiks said at the time. You're filling out the Melissa Ford slot, which a lot of people have said at the time, and a lot of people have even criticized Mona for talking a lot as well. If you watch this recent podcast that dropped on December 20th, yeah, she was being a little bit more quiet to appease some more of the fans. Now, again, this is not a spot, bro. When I heard this the first time when she was going off on the Patreon, I'm like, oh, yeah, like this, like clockwork, nigga. The Henny, he starts swirling the Henny, bro. It's like when you rub the genie and the genie give you 3 wishes. This nigga gonna attack you in 3s. He gonna give you the light work, and the last 2, nigga, he gonna make you have a headache. He gonna make your head spin. Like, he gonna go crazy, you heard me? So, again, I'm not surprised, again. And it was one of those, I think, on the Wednesday podcast, they kind of cleaned it up. Like, Mona don't be knowing, because Joe, at that point, ran into Mano, and they had a discussion. Mano was like, I ain't gonna do nothing to act. He talking, I'm talking. We just had drinks a month ago. I ain't gonna do nothing to act cool, blah, blah, blah. So then Joe was feeling a little bit better about it, and he's like, basically, when he was explaining to Flip, because Flip's like, what the fuck was going on? Mona just flies off the handle. She was doing this and that, and they didn't understand the situation. And to be fair, they were kind of perplexed about the situation, how these niggas was going back and forth over, like, Akademiks just critiquing outfits, which is crazy to me, how this nigga, out of Akademiks critiquing a nigga wearing a headband, this nigga came back and said, you're built like a wet laundry in a bag of relish. That is crazy to me. But besides all that, it's just one of those situations where we just see this shit transpire. Mona said her shit, and we all know Mona is a comedian. She's hilarious. She was making her jokes, but nigga, Akademiks gonna fire at you. And you know the whole narrative, Akademiks only goes hard against women. And I do like Mona. I think she's very funny, but like, I knew this nigga was gonna respond. It don't take much. You don't gotta have much research. We all know Akademiks is going to respond to some shit like that. That's why I was looking at Mona like, hey, this nigga gonna go for days upon days upon days. We all know Ak love Joe. He fuck with Joe. Joe love Ak. They're very cool. But even with that being said, like, bro, he shot at Mark Lamont. He shot at niggas on the podcast. Not like Ish or Ice and shit, because I think they fought with each other. He like I think those four and Ak have an understanding of shit. Even like Melissa Ford, when Melissa Ford was there. But even still, like, it was just one of those, yeah. Mona thought she could just get her shit off. It's like, no, this nigga will respond. So we'll see exactly what happens. She did have her little like IG stuff like, oh, she's a scammer or whatever. And she's like, she's not going to ruin her health going back and forth. Well, not that she's a scammer, but basically saying, where you getting this information? I'm a scammer or whatever have you. And again, it's just one of those situations. It is what it is. We'll see if more transpires. But at this point, it is what it is. Besides that, what do y'all think about this? You know what I'm saying? I was a little late on it. My apologies, but I finally got to it. You already know what it is. It's your friendly neighborhood K.A. signing off for today. The Black TJ Dead Wilder doing this thing. My name is Bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. Be trying to hit a little bit more. You heard me? And I'm gone. Slime Zoom. Peace out, gang.